welcome back to another episode of the Frontrunner podcast. My name is Arlen Kaisley and we've got a big episode lined up today. Group 1 racing's returned around Australia. The Balaclava Cup's only a week away. Spring is here, Linc and Moir. Welcome, my good friend.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here. Yeah, certainly is spring, and 2 SA runners in a Group 1's a nice little start, I guess.
It is, yeah, and we'll get stuck into that race a little bit later. A little bit left of centre for us, but when we got 2 of probably our best sprinters running around in Group 1, it deserves a bit of a preview.
Absolutely, yeah. There's obviously a lot of our local trainers would be trying to identify races over the border, and they're obviously 2 of the better ones. But, yeah, there's plenty happening, that's for sure.
Yeah, and let's have a look at a few of the other runners at the Moonee Valley card on Saturday. Race 2, Jazz Affair, the Richard and Chantel Jolly horse in a benchmark 74 over a mile. I've been running pretty well over in Melbourne.
Absolutely, yeah. I went doing the form. She's obviously also an acceptor here in Adelaide, and the form is pretty solid. You think wherever they go, she's going to be very hard to beat. So keep an eye on what they do there.
Race 4, Any Luck, the Wayne Walters, Kate Walters combo. Didn't run last start when we mentioned the horse on the pod, but into a benchmark 78 over the Cox Plate distance of 2,040 metres, potentially can run a good race.
Yeah, absolutely. We know the in-form stayers always tend to hold that and run well wherever they go. Victorians always run well here, and I think ours do likewise when they go over the border.
Yeah. Ferrivia is one of the horses we'll keep our eye on all across spring. Won the listed Atlantic, didn't win it. It's running in the listed Atlantic Jewel Stakes over 1,200 metres. Obviously a really good win last start. Lockie Nondorf will ride again. And in that race, there's a number of horses who have come through some races here in SA. So the form's really stacking up across the border in spring. You got, Salty Pearl, Ole Dancer, and of course Escher, who have all run really well in Adelaide. So it's good to see some Adelaide form making its waves over in Melbourne.
Yeah, absolutely. The off-season Adelaide races have been used for a long time by these Victorian trainers going into state. Yeah, Frivy was awesome last start to pick up like she did and win from what looked to be under a bit of pressure. I thought it was pretty impressive. So good luck to everyone involved, and let's hope that this is a stepping stone to potentially 1,000 guineas start for her.
Yeah. Next on the card is the SA Breeders' Horse of the Year. So that's held in late November, so still a bit of time to go. But they've just announced the horses that are in the running for their Horse of the Year, or Horse of the Year. So all of these 13 horses they've listed, all been bred in SA, and I love this list because quite often you don't actually realise how many good horses were bred in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. When horses, leave straight away as a yearling, they can fall off the radar a little bit unless they do what these horses have done, and that's perform super interstate and overseas. So, yeah, I had a look at that list, and I was quite impressed with the names on there as well.
Yeah, so we got Angel Capital, Attrition, Benedetta, Barclay Square, Galaxy Patch, Gold Rush Guru, Ray Magnerio, Silent Sorrente, Sox Nation, Sir Sway, The Doctor of Love, Too Darn Discreet, Watch Me Win. A good little collection of horses there. So you've got a few Group 2 winners in there. Group 1 place getters include Benedetta, Sox Nation, The Doctor of Love, Sir Sway and Ray Magnerio over the last 12 months. And obviously the Group 1 winner is Gold Rush Guru.
Absolutely, yeah, and he'll be, you would think, one of the favourites for the Racing SA Awards on Saturday night, where the Racing SA Horse of the Year will be crowned. But, yeah, it is a great list. Some horses that, yeah, as we touched on when we looked at it, we did know a lot about the Doctor of Love, the horse from New Zealand that's found his way over this way. Angel Capital, we know, obviously was super for Clinton McDonald and now finds itself with Chris Waller. A few that we know quite well. Obviously, we've followed Barclay Square and also Too Darn... what it's called?
Too Darn Discreet.
Yeah, Too Darn Discreet. Yeah. Well, and we touched on the fact that horse is airborne at the moment. So, yeah, exciting time for everyone involved. And, David Peacock owning the ladder 2, or breeding the ladder 2. He's been a prolific breeder in South Australia for a long time, along with Harry Perks, who's obviously got his hand in a few of these as well. Yeah,
they've done a fantastic job, those two in particular. I think they've got 3 and 4 respectively that they've bred at 13, which is a magnificent achievement, and spreads far and wide. Galaxy Patch is doing great things over in Hong Kong, and
huge.
You've got Gold Rush Guru here, one of the locals, and of course Silent Sorrento, who won the Adelaide Cup there. So vast and wide type of horses that we breed here in SA, and well done to everyone involved. And someone else who's just making waves is Lockie Nondorf. He's gone over. We know he left SA probably a month or so ago, and he's absolutely flying over in Melbourne.
Yeah, his stats since he left were flashed up on the screen there today. ahead of a couple of Melbourne rides, and he got the money with Trapeze Warrior early in the day for Philip Stokes, a horse that's owned by Max Bashir carrying the Crows colours. So could that be an omen ahead of tomorrow night, or it'll probably be tonight by the time most listen to this. But Lockie's doing great things, getting some good opportunities, and we'll touch on the fact that he gets his chance in a Group 1 aboard Sursway later on.
All right, it's time for the Dare to Dream Horse of the Week, and the latest stable to join Dare to Dream is none other than Group 1 winning trainer Will Clarkin. Will has 2 fillies up online, including a ready-to-run 3-year-old named Brand Her Bold. Now, the filly out of Highland Reel and Terrain is a full sister to Cullen Skink, who's a Metropolitan winning gelding from the Clarkin yard, so Will obviously likes the breeding of that horse a lot. The mare herself, Terrain, has also produced Superfluous, who's a stakes placed gelding over in WA for Simon Miller. Now, the best thing about getting involved in this particular horse is she's ready to hit the track link, so there's no waiting around. A nice athletic filly and well priced around that 60k mark. So if you're looking to get involved in a young horse about to embark on a brand new career, ready to run, head to daretodream.com.au to find out more about her, and plenty of other opportunities available online as well. All right, Linc, it's time for Follow Me, the horse that we want to put in your black book. Who you got for us this week?
Yeah, one from the leading yard, Philip Stokes' horse, Snow Mercy, was a very, impressive debut. It's rare that an impressive debut was beaten, but this horse, was in a race where there was certainly a boom around Intellectual, who won the race, but I thought Snow Mercy's run from the back was pretty darn impressive. It was there to win and just probably peaked on its run first up. It's a filly, well-bred filly. Trevor Robertson's the breeder. He's had a lot of good horses, including Instant Celebrity, 3-year-old filly. So it'd be interesting to see what path they take with her. I think they'd just like to win a race in Adelaide and then maybe sneak her back to Melbourne. But keep an eye on her. She won't be maiden for long.
All right, it's time to preview the Group 1 Moir Stakes. It's a weight for age Group 1 over 1,000 metres at the Valley. Yes, we're playing out of our backyard, but as we said before, when you got 2 South Australians in a Group 1 race, I think it's deserving of a little preview. Now, it's actually a race that South Australians have run really well in over the last few years. We've had Bella Vella and Sunlight both run third in the race. Vedora ran second in 2017, then came back and won the following year in 2018. Now, the 2 horses that we've got in the race from a South Australian point of view, we've got last start winner Cumin, currently a $51 chance to be ridden by Luke Curry. Now, watching that last start win in the Group 3 Behemoth, he was just so gutsy. And you got to remember, he was 16 months between runs there. So an amazing training performance from Shane and Cassie to get him up to win that race, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I think, even surprised the stable how well he went that day, just knowing that he can be a bit keen fresh, and probably 1,000 metres first up would have been where they wanted to go. But he was all heart that day to get up and win. And this is a really interesting race. It's they're pretty well. They're not respected as far as the betting goes. Obviously, most Group 1s in Melbourne are hot races, and this is no different. Q-Man, he draws a sticky wide gate, but he gets Luke Curry. Look, he's been there before. He was beaten 4 and a bit lengths behind Imperatriz when she was airborne. That was in a William Reid a couple of years ago now. And, he'll run his usual honest race in this, no doubt. I think you have to appreciate the fact that he'll be stripped a lot fitter, as you said, a massive, space between races, even though he'd had a bit of work in that period. But, he's just a winner. He's a horse that we'd all love to own, and I reckon he'll put himself up there somewhere, and wouldn't shock me if he ran a bit of a cheeky race. He certainly doesn't deserve to be the price he is, that's for sure. Yes,
obviously, barrier 14 probably doesn't help his chances, but if you have a look at it, he's had 6 wins and 4 placings from 12 starts over 1,000 metres, and we know that 1,000-metre horses tend to win 1,000-metre races, so good record over the trip, and he's undefeated 4 from 4 second up, so if he can continue that form, it's going to be very, very good news for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Second up record, enormous. This is just one of them, the 1,000-metre sprint races around the Valley, you just never know how they're going to, unfold on paper, but they will go fast in this, and he might find himself sort of 3 wide with a bit of cover, and he wouldn't know what to do with himself there, just sitting behind him, and let's hope he runs really well for the team.
I caught up with Shane a bit earlier today just to figure out what the plan was from that wide gate with his runner, Cumin.
Yeah, haven't gone great at all, obviously. A lot of speed inside of us, drew 14. At best, we'll come out of 13. I don't know. I'll have a look, see what Luke wants to do. He knows the place better than me. The horse has obviously got good speed, but I do like him with the sit. But I guess we'll see how he begins and ride the race as it unfolds. His work yesterday morning was outstanding, to be honest. Like, I just went up and watched him, and I said to Lauren, was it as good as it looked? And she said, yeah, he felt really good. So couldn't be happy with the horse going. The barrier just hadn't helped us. He turned around and everything went to plan, and he ran really well. Then you got the Manikato back there in 3 weeks' time, but we'll get through Saturday and see what happens.
Well, he's obviously going pretty well from what Shane's saying at the stable. So hopefully he can replicate some of that track work and run a good race.
I think the horse is airborne, no doubt. He's come through the first up run well. That was Shane's first thing he said to me a week ago when I just checked on, the plans with this race. So, yeah, he goes over there as good as they can have him. He's just going to need a bit of luck in racing, and we know that's what you need in any race, let alone a Group 1. He's had it once before, and who knows, lightning might strike twice for Q-Man in Melbourne.
Hopefully. The second run we've got is Sir Sway, currently $101 chance, which is complete overs with Sportsbet. Second of our runners, obviously he ran a career best race when he ran second in the Group 1 Goodwood in May behind Reserve Bank. Horse that likes to be up on speed, and he just stuck on his run and ran second ahead of some serious sprinters there in that race.
Yeah, if Q-Man's draw was bad, well, Sursway's a disaster for him, really. Because of that reason you just mentioned, he likes to put himself in the race. So he's going to need a lot of luck, but he could also, like Q-Man, just have to, sit 3 wide, 3 back and just hope that, they do go like the proverbial, as we say in this. But, yeah, look, he's a real, like Q-Man, you couldn't get two sprinters that have got better wills to win than these two horses. They're quite amazing that we've got these two horses going around at the same time together, because they got hearts like Farlap. They'll be up on speed somewhere, and this is a massive task first up, no doubt. But also, when you do what he did last prep, you've got to kick him off somewhere. So really excited to see what Sir Sway can do. I don't think it'll be this start, but I reckon he's a massive follow, because there's going to be a lot of sprint options for him, over the next month or so in Melbourne.
Yeah, I caught up with Sue Jaensch a little bit earlier, and we'll play that in a second. But she said it's Lockie's fault he drew the gate, so he went up and pulled it. So good luck, Lockie. From there,
we've seen him ride some absolute cracking races when the pressure's sort of been off him because of gates or patterns. Look, he's 2 Group 1 wins riding up the inside in Adelaide, where you don't win Group 1. So who knows? He's absolutely in form. So go Lockie. Yeah.
So Sir Sway's had one spin around the valley, ran 8th in a benchmark 84 last September, but the format of that race has been red hot. Won by Barracuda, War Machine second, and Barber. So you won't find too many better benchmark 84s going around.
That's insane, that form, when you look at it now.
Some serious quality in those 3. So look, he's a Group 1 performer. There's no doubt about that. Good thing about Sir Sway, undefeated 3 times first up, so does go well. Never contested a 1,000-metre race in his career, which is potentially a bit of the question mark there.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you would think he's going to be a sort of a project horse this prep, because he comes back in such a high rating, and it's you've got to kick off somewhere. So he's certainly a follow. I'm very interested to see how they place him and progress through the spring, because we know he's a very good talent. I think, look, he's $101. That's probably because of, this is with no disrespect to Sue and Jason Jaensch, but if he was in one of the big stables in Melbourne, I guarantee he's probably half the price. But very interesting to see how he goes here. I'm sure he'll run an honest race, and as I said, he's one to just stick with, I reckon, going forward.
I caught up with Sue earlier, and here's what she had to say about Sir Sway and his draw heading into Saturday.
He's never been blessed with good gates, so having a wide gate really is probably his standard. So he, look, we've been really happy with him, because we've had him up here for a couple of weeks. I've been blessed with that. So he's been working really good, and very happy with him going to where he's going, and we probably talked Jason into doing that one and not the 1200. Saturday, I think we just basically we see where he sits on their scale over there. We know he can hook along pretty well on it over 1,000 metres, and from that gate we probably can't expect to win, but a good run, I'll be happy.
So you got to feel that even if we don't run too well on Saturday in the Moir. The Manikato is a very good option for both horses going forward.
Absolutely. Is that still Cup Eve?
I believe so.
Maybe,
notice.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking maybe they're both Crows fans and want to go back for the grand final. But as I said, I think there's so many good sprint races for both these horses going forward. Look, this will be just a little a tune-up, I think, to some other options going forward. But good luck to everyone. Bad luck about the gates. But as you know, there's no guarantee a good draw means a good result.
Yeah, so the early favourite in the race is Barrack Hill, $4.80, $5 Alabama Last, the Kiwi. Graham Begg's Niance is $5.50, as well as Escher, who still waiting on a start, needs a scratching. There's a bit of a whisper that one horse may come out, one of the Sydney horses, but we'll see what happens there. And then, Skybird, who's obviously around here in Adelaide, is a $9.50 chance, and then out to a few others. Obviously, Sursway's now out to $126, Cumin at $51. So, some good horses, and I suppose anyone's race.
Absolutely. They're disrespected in the market, I guess, but at the same time, when you hear the three names at the top, they're not genuine, proven Group 1 stars just yet. They may be, after Saturday or going forward. But, can't wait to see what these horses do through the spring.
All right, Linc, it is best bets time. There's a few races you want to have a look at from different perspectives. We'll go in racebook order. Race 2 is a race you want to have a look at. Burning Bright's the current favourite, and you're keen to take it on.
Yeah, I just thought at the price, $2.30, Burning Bright, you could take on. Look, it's had its chance, I thought, the last two starts. It's been beaten by Rabtat, who goes around in the opening race chasing 3 on the bounce. So if Rabtat comes out and wins well, Burning Bright's going to be very hard to beat here. But I thought Active Duty was probably the way to play this, just the odds from the Lindsay Smith stable. Lindsay doesn't bring a lot of horses to Adelaide, but Jared Fry comes over to ride. And I just thought Burning Bright, $2.30, it's probably short enough for me for a horse that's been beaten its last couple.
Race 6 is the next race we'll have a quick look at, and it comes up with your best of the day. You're keen to side with the Richard and Chantel Jolly Tran Kalasek.
Yeah, absolutely. Loved his first up run behind Next to Nix when, look, he was making a run on the corner and just kept getting pushed wider and wider, and Jake sort of had to take his medicine a little bit, let the horse balance up. He probably gave the winner 6 lengths at the top of the straight, maybe more, and was beaten a tick over a length. I think he's a pretty good horse on his day, Kalasek. I think this is a really nice race for him going forward. He draws that barrier 6, which is ideal around the parks. We know how powerful the Richard and Chantel Jolly and Jake Tourette combination is. I think it's certainly my best of the day. He's been a little easy since markets went up. I think they went up $2.90. He's about $3.10 in some areas at the moment, but I'm pretty keen on Kalasek race 6, number 3.
And race 9 is the last race you want to have a look at, and on an each-way basis, keen to have a look at Synchro.
Yeah, well, when I did this, and that was about an hour ago, he was $4.90. He's been whacked into $3.90, so we may just have to make him the next best and not so much the value, because inside gate, this horse loves the parks. Great use of the claim by Michael with Caitlin Tootle riding here, and I think Synchro will be very hard to beat in the last. Was the value? Please forgive, but a lot can happen in the drive down to the Adelaide's number 1 podcast studio, which has happened here, and Synchro now finds himself $3.90 favourite.
Now, I caught up with a couple of trainers trackside at Morphettville today before we came down to the studio. Had a chat to Stephen Theodore, our good friend of the pod, and he's got a couple runners in on Saturday, and High Society Girl he's quite keen to follow. Here's what Theo had to say about her.
Yeah, High Society Girl. Probably going to get the drier track that she probably doesn't like, but she's back in class, and she's a mare that's in form, and when mares get in form, they always run a good race. Her and Jess Safaris have got a great affinity, and she'll get a good ride, and I'm sure she'll be right there when the whips are cracking.
Now, Linc, when Theo speaks, we listen, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. He's a very good judge, and I tell you what, if he gives a little push and then you see that little market move, that's as good a push as you'll get around here in SA.
I also had a chance to catch up with Aaron Bain, who's got a big team heading to Morphettville on Saturday. There's 2 horses that he's pinpointed who are good chances from his stable on the weekend. He's got one in race 3 named Belize, and in race 8, Stokemo. Here's what he had to say about both of those runners.
Yeah, look, Belly's probably one of our better chances, drawn out, and looks to get a good run there. Barrier 10, been running really well in recent starts. The blinkers go on, so like her chances. King Edward kicks off in the same race, our first runner for OTI, so looking forward to that. But ultimately then, Stokomo, his form this prep's been really good since coming to our stable, and for Robert Hill-Smith, the Alumba Wines, he's knocking on the door to win again. He won 2 starts ago, should go close again Saturday.
Belize has certainly got a winning hope, especially on last start, really savaged the line, and I know he's had it in the back of his mind that she's good enough to win a city maiden, so certainly one that I've got on top, and I'm happy to be with Bainey. Yeah,
$5.50 for Belize from the Aaron Bainyard in race 8. You get a bit of a price for his runner Stokomo, $15. Nice each way play there, and Theo's in the first. High Society Girl currently $6.50.
Yeah, there's a couple of tough races. I think Stokomo runs into one of the hardest races I've seen there on Saturday. I think, the favourite's $4.40, and I reckon there's only one horse that probably can't win that, and that's the horse down the bottom. It's Fourth Emergency, so it probably won't even get a run.
So good card on Saturday. We'll just recap some of Linc's best bets. So his best bet, race 6, number 3, is Kalasek. Each way play, or his second best now, is Synchro, race 9, number 4. And his lay of the day, Burning Bright, race 2, taking on the favourite there. Nice little show there. Nice, short, sharp and shiny, but kind of the last quiet week in Adelaide before a few stakes races come up in the form of the Balaclava Cup and Murray Bridge Cup in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it does get very busy. Balaclava Wednesday, I think Wiley Handicap Saturday. So, certainly is plenty of good racing. It's not only going to be here next week, but it only gets bigger and better here in Melbourne from here on.
It really does. So just give our socials a follow on X, Facebook or Instagram. Head to Dare to Dream there, and obviously daretodream.com.au for all your ownership needs. And we're going to be back for a little special episode ahead of the Balaclava Cup next Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. We'll catch up with some of the trainers with big runners and big chances on the day, and it's always a good day down at Balaclava. So if you haven't got your ticket, head down the road to Balac for a good day out.
Always a massive day there. Hopefully the weather turns it on. That's normally the difference between an extra 3,000 or 4,000 through the gates there for the club. So all the best to everyone heading to Balaclava on Wednesday.
Brilliant. Good luck if you're having a little wager on the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week ahead of the Balaclava Cup.